I'm now joined by Shane Hanchey, American Rodeo Champion, $100,000 richer. And Shane, I want to start with something that I noticed in your runner that it reminded me of. It reminded me of the cinch shootout a couple of years ago. You were Shad Mayfield goes 6'9" right in front of you. You're 6'8" right behind him. You win. And also, I think that's the only other time maybe in your career, I know you've talked about this, that you've shown anything remotely similar to the emotion that you showed when winning the American. Obviously, 7,500 versus $100,000. But do you draw on moments like that in your career and past runs when you have that basically the exact same opportunity in front of you?
Yeah, Brett, that's what makes us, right? I mean, those kind of high pressure situations, your back's against the wall. Um, the hottest tie down roper, arguably for the last 2 years, not arguably, he's got two gold buckles consecutively, and he's the best roper in the world, and he just went 6'9", and to be able to come back and be 6'73", and I still had Kincaid to go, but man, it felt it was kind of similar to Rory sinking that putt on 18 in the playoff hole. You seen the weight lifted off his shoulders, and it was similar for me. Only about 4.1 million difference in prize money, but just proving to myself that I can still go as fast as anybody else in the world.
I was really, really struck by that in your zero in interview where you kind of said, not doubts or anything like that, but you had to reprove it. So I guess my question is, were there ever doubts when you see the Riley's, Kincaid, Shads, Haven? Obviously, three of those names you just beat straight up there. But I was surprised to hear that there may have been any doubt for you at any point.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, I probably shouldn't have any. But man, this world is crazy. This rodeo world, and I'm 35 now, and all you hear about is how young and fast those kids were. A lot like they were talking about us, a few short years ago with the group that we came in with, and it was me, it was Caleb, it was Tough, it was Corey. So I mean, you go through that span of man. Am I a little old? Am I, the as fast as it's gotten now? What do I need to do to be able to hang with them? And honestly, just prove to myself, like I said, that I can still do what it takes when my back's against the wall. And yeah, that run at San Angelo, I didn't really compare it to that one. But I did show a lot of emotion there, and it was the same kind of deal. But the other run that stuck out to me that I didn't get to mention on the zero in was the 2019 10th round. I knew I was last roper, 10th go round. If I won the round, I won the world, and that's kind of all I knew. Um, so I split the round. I was 7-1. I split it with Adam Gray. If I'd have been seven flat or Adam would have been 7-2, I'd have another gold buckle. But that was a night that I had my back against the wall, and I went and did what I wanted to do. And so you got a few of those runs in your mind that really stick out to you. And man, this one at the American is gonna be one of those for sure.
A lot of directions for me to take that there, but I guess I was struck by what you said about how fast it's gone. I mean, it's true. 7-4 wins most rodeos like this 10 years ago pretty unequivocally, and now it gets you third in the round because the next guy goes 6'9" and the next guy goes 6'7" right after that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's so similar. I compare it to golf a lot, but they're talking about how far them guys are driving the ball now, and it's the same with us, the ropers. And I think Brett more or less is like the junior opens that you go to growing up. Now we didn't have that luxury, but these guys can go somewhere every weekend, and the setup is like the American. It's fast, and you tie them in short seven. I mean, you got 15-year-old kids tying them in six now. I mean, it's just crazy the opportunity that they have to get into these kind of situations and these setups that are similar to the Thomas and Mack, similar to the Americans, similar to the San Angelos, and that's why you see these kids that are ready already at 18 years old. It's because it's changed so much from when you're 14 to 17.
I heard Tim O'Connell talking about that same thing with bareback riders, where now it doesn't take, there's no warm up period. There's no 3 or 4 years that are basically while you're in college and pro rodeo. And it's just, you're 18. I mean, like Riley's a great example. You're 18, 19, 20 years old, and you're born and bred ready to win a gold buckle.
Yeah, a lot similar to that. I actually heard Tim talking about that too, and it really resonated with our event as well as the bareback. But I mean, I think like these young kids, once they, because the only thing that's different is the actual rodeoing part, like Shad and Riley, they both made it their rookie year, but man, they were like, you could kind of tell they weren't quite sure of how to go where to enter for when and this and that. But now, once you figure it out after a year going and you go to the Thomas and Mack and you got a year under your belt, then it's like, oh, okay, this really ain't no different than what we've been doing our whole lives.
I want to go back to the run a little bit. 6-7-3. Again, I feel like the 7-3 on that, because it's just not normally how you read it, kind of takes away some of the juice of a 6-7 run to really punctuate it there. But 6-7, obviously a ton has to go right. Just take me through start to finish how it came together in your mind.
Well, for one, I watched that calf go the night before with Kincaid in the contender finals, and he went 7-3 and won that. And I knew that calf was in the final four. And when me and Kincaid tied for winning the 10 man, somebody said, well, who gets to rope last? I said, look, I'll let Kincaid rope last as long as I can run Kincaid's calf from the night before. And it wasn't 10 minutes later, they sent us to draw, and I was second to last, and I had Kincaid's calf. So that's a bit of a confidence boost in its own right, is knowing you have the best calf in the final four. And I mean, obviously, when Riley went 6'9", I knew I had to step it up, but I also knew that if I did my things right, I could get him. And yeah, so really, I just from start to finish, I really just my main goal was to know I was out when I crossed the line, and which I knew I was when not only did I hear Jade Connor, Josie's dad, he was in the box with me, say yeah, I had Kincaid's dad pushing, and so I knew I was out, and I come across there, and the calf was a little bit more in front of me than I had thought the calf was going to be, which made it perfect. I had a little bit of separation, which for us, when you got a little bit of separation, it just happens faster. And I kind of reached a little, kind of for me. I'm not a real big reacher, Brett. Like I don't take many chances, but in that position, I knew I had to, and so I kind of reached a little. I didn't really throw the sharpest net catch that I have, but it was effective, and I knew if the calf would be standing, I knew I could literally, when my feet hit the ground, I could go as fast as I want and not really have to worry about the calf kicking or anything like that. And man, that's just kind of what I did. I just remember, you hear Michael Jordan and all these guys say, like, when they're really focused and zoned in, everything happens in slow motion. Well, Brett, everything was in such slow motion from the time I roped and pulled on my slack that when I threw my hands up, I kind of was like, well, Riley went 3 swings further than you just did. Surely you beat him. And I seen the 673, and man, that's what, a lot of guys were like, man, what were you saying? Your emotion. I said, it's hard to explain. I don't even remember what I was saying, but it's hard to explain when you're in that position and you come through. It's a feeling that, luckily for me, not many people are able to feel it.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned kind of that emotion and letting it all. I mean, it seems to be that it really was just a true release of everything you had bottled up for. I don't want to say years, but just kind of like I said, just letting it all out and however it was going to be let out, basically.
Yeah, and Brett, I'm a big stats guy. You know that more than anybody, and I felt like I had a chance at Houston, and I made the Final Four, and I broke the barrier, and I felt like I wrote pretty good at the NF4, but Riley beat me by 10 seconds, and I won second in the average, but I still won 130,000, which was pretty good. But I didn't win a round. I didn't tie any in 6. Like, for the last couple years, I just felt like I've been making a good living with the rope, but I haven't just come through in that clutch moment, and that was it for me. And now, man, I'm so happy for it to be on Bugsy and his return, and man, I'm just so excited about the rest of the spring and the summer run.
Yeah, I wanted to get right into Bugsy after this because obviously his role very, very important in all of this. But you've said some really interesting things, just how he works better when he's tired, how you figured out how to work with him. Just tell me more about that process and kind of what you've come to in your and Bugsy's relationship.
Yeah, really, my wife is the one that figured out that he works better tired, and and he really does. Obviously, the proof's in the pudding from Houston to Austin to the American. I really figured that out, the spring of 2023 when we won Clovis. But the miles and the diesel smoke kind of took care of getting him tired to that point, So, really, like during the week, dude. I mean, I'll be honest, like he's saddled most of the day. Do I rope on him? No, I don't rope much on him during the week. I mean, I might break away a couple if I need to. But really, he's just getting rode and having the saddle on him and getting kind of wore down like that. I mean, it's no different than a professional ball player. You got your starting pitchers that really like to warm up a lot and really to be zoned in and have their location dialed in, and it's no different than that. Um, and I mean, he's just on an aspect of like how he's working, like he just gets across the line so much flatter, and he's not quite as free running for me, so I can kind of rope him going in, and then he sets my go up, to where when he's fresh and feeling good, his head's more kind of up in my way, and he's a little bit more free running. But yeah, that's kind of the ticket, and obviously him being sound now. I mean that injury in 2023 at the NFR. I mean, I pretty much gave him a year off, and knowing that he's 100% sound. I mean, that's a big mental block there when you first get back on a horse that's been hurt. The thing that goes through your mind the whole time is, man, is he for sure back? Is he for sure good? And I really didn't start feeling that until Houston.
For people who don't know, I guess just what is that trust level like when you know that the horse, like how much does that change things when you know the horse is going to work exactly as it's supposed to, again, specifically for your run too?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, Brett, is for me, my career. I mean, I'm not built like Shad. I'm not built like Riley. I'm just not. And for me to have the career I've been able to have, it's been dependent on great horsepower and great fits. And so it's just a feel thing and a timing thing for me that when I go back in there, I know what I'm looking for. I know what I'm feeling for. And the great horses that I've gotten to ride in the past, he's been different than all of them. But I just know that when he kind of is running to one, I know exactly what the field needs to be for us to get to winning.
Let's change the subject a little bit. Number 16 in the world, nice enough to pull over on the way to San Angelo. Just kind of where's your head at finishing up the spring, getting to the summer? I mean, obviously helps to have a fresh pen of horses and have Bugsy healthy, but kind of where's your head at coming into this next 5-6 months?
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I mean, we left last year with a 5-year-old River and a 6-year-old Jules with $20,000 won, and needing to really step up in the summer run. And the weight is lifted. I mean, I'm if I have a good San Angelo, I could be in the top 5, top 10 in the world. Going into the summer. And if you would have asked me that after San Antonio getting blanked, I would have told you that I would take that, and have a smile. But leaving San Antonio, first year I think in my career that I actually didn't win a dollar there, and man, I was in a bad place mentally and no confidence, and I just knew I needed to change something. And so I got on Bugsy at Houston and won 16,000 there, and then it kind of rolled into winning 9,000 at Austin, and then all of a sudden you got 30,000 won, and you're in a good spot mentally, and you still got a couple of these Texas swing rodeos to go. And I honestly, Brett, you know how I am. I really crave the summer and the summer run because you get to pretty much rope a calf a day, and you can really get in a groove and really get to winning. And now with all the money that's set out, these rodeos are adding so much money. And I'm just looking forward to Cowboy Christmas and everything after.
Do you think that's an advantage for you as someone who, like you said, you really crave it? And it's been the last, I mean, 4 or 5 years, you've been just far better in the summer than you have in the winter. And every stat would back that up, I think.
Yeah, no doubt. And I've really had some great winners, man. I've been really fortunate to win, mostly all the big winter rodeos, but it is feast or famine for me. It seems to be in the wintertime. And I think half of that is, I'll be completely transparent with you. Being able to come back and forth to home and having to ride my young horses, having to ride the fraternity horses, and then going, to Denver on the weekend or going to San Antonio and then, getting in rodeo mode, it really hasn't benefited me much rodeo wise. I mean, the fraternity horses and all that has been great. But at the end of the day, my number one job is to be a rodeo cowboy, right now. And so I think when I do get to go out there in the summer, I'm not riding no young horses at the house. I'm kind of getting in a groove. I love the summer rodeos. Like you said, I've been really fortunate and done really good at the Cowboy Christmas rodeos and kind of parlays into Calgary and all that on. So I really got a lot of confidence in the summer, and I'm also just staying in groove, roping for money every day to where I'm back home. Like this morning, I mean, before I left to go to San Angelo, I had to ride 5 young horses, and work them before because these fraternities are coming up in the next couple of weeks that they could really win a lot of money. So my priorities are a little different when I'm home, especially now that we got Strand, and so it's something that I look forward to in the summer is really capitalizing on the money and the rodeos.
How we'll finish with that. How cool is that you'll be able to get to tell Strand that story at his first American and then his first NFR? You're second in the average there too.
Yeah, no, it's been really cool, Brett. It's the best thing I've ever done, and I got criticized quite a bit for carrying him through the hallway after winning the American, but I'll do it 100 times over. It's pretty cool, man, knowing that he watches my every move in the practice pen, and I've told people he's going to play golf, he's going to play golf, but if you see the kid and watch how he watches my every move when I'm flanking in time from the post or roping off a horse, he's so in tune to it. It's crazy, freaky, man. And the other day, I had a string just on the fence, and he was sitting there in the stroller, and I don't even know how, but he grabbed it off the fence, and I looked over, and he put it in his mouth. And I mean, he's 10 months old, dude. I'm like, man, I got a feeling I'm gonna be doing this, opening the gate for you for a long time coming, buddy.
Yeah, it's in his blood. You'll be pushing for him before you know it.
Yeah, yeah. Time flies, man.
That's awesome, Shane. Thank you for joining me. Good luck the rest of the season, and good luck in San Angelo. I can see you're on your way there right now.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, we're talking quite a bit.
Absolutely love it.